So Jess, I've been told that Dynamics 365 and Dynamics NAV can now integrate. Is that correct?
That is correct. There is a standard connector that's been brought out by Microsoft that allows you to connect the two systems together. And that's really nice from managing your sales process point of view, because you can sync accounts and contacts, but what that also means is that if I'm starting out with a lead, which I progress to an opportunity, then I can push that through to a quote and ultimately an order, and then it goes through into the ERP to actually be fulfilled.
That sounds really useful, because I'm doing the right thing in the right place,
yes,
where it's best suited.
Exactly, yes.
What about cases though?
So that's where I suppose customer service teams are at a little bit of a disadvantage, because the integration framework as a standard doesn't include case management. So cases are most frequently used by a customer service department. They are the holding place for any problems that a customer might report to you, any questions or any requests that they make of you. So that really allows you then to sort of analyse what are the problems we're getting, what are the questions people are asking or requests that people are making of us, look for those trends and patterns and start to improve service levels that way. However, what we do recognise is that as part of a case you might have scenarios such as a damaged item or a faulty item where you may need that item to be returned to you and issue a replacement order.
Yes.
Now, if I'm a customer service agent and I'm creating a case in Dynamics 365, without it being included in the integration framework, I then have to log into NAV separately, create that sales return order and replacement order separately. I might then have to log back into Dynamics 365 to add some notes to remind myself of what I need to do, and this is the sales return order number, and etc. So it can become quite cumbersome to try and manage cases on two different systems.
Whereas what we really want is those two talking to each other, so the information transfers between the two systems.
Exactly, so you've got a seamless flow of the data really.
Okay, so we have lots of additions that aim to solve business problems just like this. Do we have one that addresses this aspect?
We do. We have a sales documents edition that allows you to create a sales return order or replacement sales order directly from a case in Dynamics 365.
Excellent. Can you demonstrate that for me?
I can. Okay, so we've got this case here for a product exchange. So as part of that exchange, I'm going to want to raise a sales return order to bring the existing product back and create a new sales order to send out the new product to the customer.
Okay.
So you'll see we've filled in the basic information here, and we're taking advantage of some of the lovely features in Dynamics 365 such as service level agreements, which tell me how long I've got in terms of responding to the customer once the case is first raised, and also how long I've actually got to resolve the case as well. So there's some really nice customer service features you do want to take advantage of in Dynamics 365.
And looking at that, we'd better get a move on.
We had indeed. Okay, so to raise the sales return order then I pop up to here and there is an option here called sales document. So if I click on that, you can then see we've got a view here, and I can select sales return from the list of options, and you'll see this now picks up the customer details, and it's going to go and find that particular customer record in Dynamics NAV. So you'll see it's now loaded the sales return order form. It's got all of the customer details there for me, so minimal in terms of data input and things for me to do. So I can just click on edit, and then I can start to actually enter the information that I want in terms of what's being returned. So we're still collecting all of the key information from a Dynamics NAV point of view as well, so we know what we're expecting back into stock, what the price is, what quantities, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because so this way it's fully aware of the stock levels and the pricing structures
Yes.
that exist within NAV that wouldn't exist within Dynamics 365.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So we create our document. So once that's all done, we can come back into Dynamics 365. If I just hit refresh here, you'll see now as well that we have a copy of some of the information from NAV, and it's just the key information really, like the document number, what the type of document is, and the value.
Okay.
If I click just to come back into the case here, So what we're then doing with this addition is we're taking advantage of the very powerful workflow tool in Dynamics 365, and you can see here that I've got a note to say that the sales return order has been processed, and it's given me the return order there. So straight away when I open that case as a customer service representative, I know what's happened, and we've also got an email that's gone out to the customer just to acknowledge that their return has now been processed as well.
So that was sent automatically?
Yes. So again, saves the customer service representative time in having to
Excellent.
inform the customer of what's happening. Okay, so once we've sent our email out, technically we have now sent our first response. So I'm just going to scroll down to here, and I'm going to change the first response sent to yes. Just save that. And what that will do then is when that countdown timer runs down, it will change to succeeded because we have marked it as the first response being sent.
Excellent.
So the next thing we need to do as well is to send out a replacement sales order, and the process is exactly the same. So you come up to the main menu here, click sales documents, and this time when we've got our list of documents, we just click sales order.
I like the way it's not just going into Dynamics NAV, it's going into Dynamics NAV and creating the right document starting point for us.
So it just removes any of that frustration that you would have. If the two systems were disparate, then that customer service agent has to then log into NAV, find that customer, create the sales document that they want to. We're removing all of that
Much
from their
smoother,
process.
much less risk of error keying data, that kind of stuff.
Or things like, you know, if it is a hassle for a customer service agent, what you'll quite often find them doing is writing it down on a pad, and then they've got to remember to go and create that document in NAV at a later date, and then they might forget, things might get missed. So actually by having this integration addition in place, it just allows them to do stuff really, really quickly.
Well, also your data's more secure that way because they're not keeping records outside of the system.
Yes. So I'll minimise that for now. We're back and you'll see our timer there has changed to succeeded. And again, we've got another email to say that the order's been processed. So constantly updating the customer, letting them know what's going on, but the customer service representative doesn't have to do that. The system's automatically doing it for them.
That's really helpful. So could you just refresh, what are the documents that we can actually use this integration with on the sales side?
So from a customer service point of view, when you're working with cases, the two main documents you're going to be using are the sales return order and the replacement sales order. However, this addition can also be used on the sales process side of things. So from an account record in Dynamics 365 or directly from an opportunity record, I can create a sales quote or a sales order in Dynamics NAV using exactly the same functionality that we've just demonstrated today.
That's really useful. If I want to find out more, how would I do that?
Okay, so if you do want to find out more information, I would contact your account manager and they'll then be able to arrange either a demonstration for you or to provide you with further information.
Brilliant, thank you.
No problem.